Hello everyone, this is Father the Everchosen, back in Total War Warhammer 2, bringing you a new set of quick battles, this time as the High Elves, and I'll be bringing you a few High Elf quick battles this week in lead up to the Warden and the Paunch DLC, which should be releasing 2 days from when you guys are seeing this video. So I'm going to quickly run down through my opponent's army and run through my army, but one thing I want you to look at is the balance of power is clearly slated in my opponent's favor. So if we go through and look, my opponent has 5 nasty skulkers. He's got 3 night goblins. He's got a unit of Goblin Wolf Chariot, but it's the ROR, the Teeth Robbers. He's got the Queen back here, along with a Giant, a Night Goblin Warboss, and a Night Goblin Shaman. And then he has 3 units of Forest Goblin Spider Riders, one of which being the Deaf Creepers. For my army, we'll start down here. I've got 3 units of Spearmen, one of which being the Scions of Mathlan. These 2 Spearmen on the flanks I gave 2 chevrons to. And I've got 2 units of the White Lions of Trace. The White Lions are a hotly debated unit, whether they are worth it or not. In this matchup, I feel that they are quite good. I know that I'm not having to fear the super crazy good infantry unless they were to have brought Black Orcs, but obviously I have other things to deal with the Black Orcs. But they each have 3 chevrons, bumping up their melee defense up to 38 and their melee attack to 41. I have a Lore Master of Hoeth sitting back here with Spirit Leech and Earthblood. I have 2 units of regular archers, one of which has a single chevron, and an Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower back here. Then up top, I have a Moondragon. I have Alarielle the Radiant, and she brings Banishment and Earthblood to the field, and I have all 3 of her items on her. And I have a Noble down here. So we're going to jump into this. Immediately, I realize that my opponent has forward deployed, taking the hill. So originally I was going to deploy over here. It's good that I dropped down here. A nice volley right into these Night Goblins, and I charge in with this Noble, keeping the Dragon up here and dropping Alarielle back, getting a better look at what's up here. The Noble gets stuck in here with the Smoke Bomb effect, but the Noble will remain there for a while. But he does allow my Moondragon to come over here and get just a devastating breath weapon off on these nasty skulkers, bringing him up to 66 kills right off the bat, eliminating 1 unit. My archers begin to open fire on these Night Goblins, and I have now spotted the Warboss and the Shaman. Try to take out these Teeth Robbers early on, and I pull my Noble out, who still managed to get 33 kills, even with being stuck in there. These 2 will get pulled back here in a moment, but this Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower is just, it's not racking up a whole lot of kills, but it is doing quite a bit of damage to these Night Goblins. And I will switch it to the anti-large here pretty soon, and it will be targeting some of the bigger enemies that I have. They get a nice Fanatic coming through here, almost wiping out one of my War Machines and doing quite a bit of damage to my archers. I have this Lore Master of Hoeth in here. They trigger their Wah, which is going to be pretty devastating, but I get Spirit Leech off, and the Queen probably doesn't really want to be here fighting the Scions of Mathlan and my Lore Master. I start drawing everything back, and the balance of power is still in my enemy's favor, but I drop the Star of Avalorn, keeping my Lore Master of Hoeth and my Scions of Mathlan healthy, And I drop some healing in here. But they get a Gorkle Fix-It and an Itchy Nuisance, dropping my melee weapon strength and melee attack pretty low. I get another devastating breath attack on these nasty skulkers, bringing my dragon up to 134. And my dragon's just going to go to town on this Ragnarok Queen. We get a Curse of the Bad Moon in here, but in the process, their Teeth Robbers are going to rout off my noble back here, engaging the nasty skulkers. The nasty skulkers will do quite a bit of damage back here. White Lion's doing good, up to 48 kills, fighting low-tier monster, or low-tier goblin infantry. I do get the Ragnarok Queen out of here. Alarielle decides to join the fight over here against these Spider Riders. And right now, the right flank has kind of collapsed, but with the Ragnarok Queen leaving, I engage the Lore Master against this Night Goblin War Boss, and the Lore Master of Hoeth will make short work of him. Already almost at half health. And we'll switch to a little bit of the slow-mo. My noble has routed off. He will end up coming back, though. He's up at 73 kills. Alarielle's in here, surrounded by Forest Goblin Spider Riders, but she's doing really good. She's got high melee defense and pretty good melee attack. And I'm generating as much magic as I can right now with her. My archers are plucking away at this giant, and I'm trying to keep this Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower online. I end up getting another breath weapon here, going from 134 up to 184. Another 50 kills, taking out more nasty skulkers. And now this Night Goblin War Boss is engaged by the Lore Master, the Dragon, Scions of Mathland, and what I think there may still be a few White Lions in there. And at this point, my opponent's army starts to just rout en masse. My noble is back. I kind of keep him alive as best I can. It's really just the giant that's still fighting. The Ragnarok Queen is going to come back for just a moment. But their Night Goblin War Boss is dead on the field right here. And with that, their leadership is pretty much broken. This giant was all that they had left, and its leadership drops to negative 115. So there was nothing he could do. A Curse of the Bad Moon goes down just before they all rout. So a good battle by my opponent. If I would not have chose to deploy at the bottom of the hill, which is a risky move. I mean, my opponent could have brought, Goblobbers and Azhag up in the air and a bunch of archers to protect him, and they could have just been raining down on me from top of this hill. Originally, I was planning on deploying right up here on these small mounds, but I knew that my opponent could get up here pretty quick, and this is not like the most ideal fighting ground. So at the last moment, I decided to pull my forces down here, and with that, they had to approach me under constant fire from the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower, my archers, and the dragon and the noble. So ending that, Alarielle walks away with 7 kills. The Lore Master of Hoeth walks away with 4, but that Lore Master of Hoeth was able to drop a Spirit Leech, was able to drop some healing when Alarielle's healing was on a cooldown still. And I think the Lore Master of Hoeth is an underused hero. I think he's a decent melee combatant, and he can really hold your leadership together when you don't have other units around or other heroes around. The Noble walking away with 73 kills, pretty good. Kept him alive still in the end. The High Elf Spearmen are probably the second best just base tier infantry, I would say, after the Eternal Guard of the Wood Elves, only because I think with their armor piercing, they can eke it out. And yeah, this White Lion, ended up only getting 14 kills. I think it was engaged by the war boss and the giant, and I think it might have gotten hit by maybe a Curse of the Bad Moon or something like that. So walked away with 14 kills, not great, but 92 kills on this one. I mean, I would say that it paid for itself. Scions of Mathland, 15 kills aren't great, but it held, and that's all I needed it to do. The archers didn't get a whole lot, but they were peppering the larger targets. The dragon really was the MVP, walking away with 192 kills. All three of its breath weapons used on different nasty skulkers, and I'm imagining that one of them was this one with 0, one of them was this one with 0, and the other one might have been this one with 21. So holding 3 units to 21 kills, you know, I would say that's pretty good in my book. And the Eagle Claw Bolt Thrower didn't do fantastic, but again, once I switched it to the large targeting mode, it did damage to the giant and the Ragnarok Queen. So my opponent, you know, maybe didn't bring the most conventional army. He wanted to forward deploy as much of his army as he could so he could take the top of the hill, which is always a smart thing to do. If I would have deployed on top of the hill or near the top of the hill, I don't think I would have walked away with a win on that. I think he would have charged downhill, activating his Wa, and everything would have been engaged all at once. I think the only thing my opponent could have done better was wait for all of his forces to kind of come down together. He had just like forces kind of dripping in, which, especially with goblin infantry, which already have low leadership, if they don't have their flanks secure and a lord nearby or a hero nearby, they can start to fall apart, you know. But once they got in there, you know, they did decent, but, you know, I think he could have just waited a bit longer to pull all of his forces in. But I hope you all enjoyed that. Like I said, this will be the lead up till the DLC drops. You should be getting 2 videos today. This one should come out at 12:30. There should be another one at 6:30. And then you should get 1 or 2 quick battles tomorrow, which will be Wednesday. And then as soon as I can start recording content, I'll probably give myself a day or so to familiarize myself with some of the units. You guys will start seeing Eltharion and Grum the Paunch and Imric and all their accompanying units start showing up in quick battles, as well as an Eltharion the Grim campaign, probably starting either that Friday after the DLC drops, or maybe 2 Fridays after, only because I do want to kind of get the Von Karstein campaign to a more natural stopping point, and that will probably end with a siege on Altdorf and having Vlad and Isabella take that. And once that's done, I think that we can confidently move on to the next. And you should be receiving another episode of that on Friday. So hopefully you'll get 2 more of those next week. You'll get quick battle material all throughout, and you'll see the Eltharion campaign either a week or 2 weeks from Friday. So if you did like this quick battle that I put out, please leave a like, leave comments below. And if you enjoy the content that I put out on the channel, please consider subscribing. It helps the channel grow, and the larger the channel is, the better the content and the better the conversations become. Thank you all, and as always, I've been Father of the Everchosen.